Welcome, everyone. My name is Yaakov Verdiger, and I'm the Business Development Manager at Doroni Aerospace. Thank you for joining us today. We greatly appreciate your time, and it's our goal today to provide you with a clear picture of what makes Doroni Aerospace so special. Communication with our family of investors is extremely important to us, and we strive to be as transparent as possible across multiple channels, including social media, our weekly flight notes newsletter, and update on Start Engine. Doroni Aerospace stands at an inflection point in history, where multiple innovation platforms, including energy storage, robotics, artificial intelligence, creating a perfect storm for the development of electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. 5 years ago, this would have been considered science fiction. But as we speak, Doroni is developing a personal eVTOL, which we believe will change the marketplace forever. We are proud to be true leaders in this segment and to be offering a powerful, efficient, and frankly, beautiful design with the H1 eVTOL. Doron, please go ahead.
Thank you, Yaakov, for your kind words, and welcome everyone. I would like to divide our discussion into three main topics. What we're going to be introducing is more than a game changer in transportation. So the three main topics we're going to talk about is development and production, partnership, and valuation and fundraising. Development and production. Let me share my screen. So most of you should be already familiar with our design. This is how the H1P1 will look like. And now let me try to get you behind the scene of how we see it. So we have the structure inside the frame, as you can see, is made out of carbon fiber tubing. Basically, most of the Doroni H1 will be made from carbon fiber composites. The two pilots, we have the motors, 8 here, 4 or 2 in each duct, and 2 pushers in the back. We already have the batteries. The batteries are already made. We made them in-house, so they are ready for this one. And we have the landing gear. And I would like to have our Chief Aerodynamics and Mechanical Engineer, Roman Antonov, to add and explain a little bit more about behind the design.
Thank you, Doron. Hello, everyone. What's the idea to make structure of H1P1 in that way? The main idea was to make it simple, easy for changing during the test, because maybe something must be improved. Also easy for repairing and changing batteries, components inside, and easy for transportation. As you can see, H1P1 have 3 main parts. It's front frame, cockpit, crew cabin, and rear frame. So everything can be disassembled in these 3 main parts and put on some trailer or box, and can be moved to some fields for testing or some showroom for exhibition. So also we have a place for additional weight on the back on rear frame. It's for remote test without pilots. So we can put some cargo there to compensate the center of the mass of the device, of changing, because there will be no pilot inside for some tests, and we still need to have balanced vehicle. So that's why everything have some purpose. Everything is easy for assembly, and we already started to do it, as you saw on some video updates from our team. And nearest time we already will start to do crew cabin and assemble everything together. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Roman. I'd like to add that what you see here is H1P1 prototype, but in fact, we are already developing parallel to that, the go-to-market product. The reason we're doing both of them at the same time is because we learn and iterate, and the go-to-market product will look similar, but it will be, it will not look identical. It will have different features and will look simple, will look a little bit different. The entire concept is basically of the H1 is to, or as Roman said, is to simplify the inherent complexities of flight and to make it accessible to everyone. Our approach is truly democratizing flight. And I would like to have our test pilot, Charles, to add a couple of words so he can help you or help us understand a little bit more about the concept of flight and what are we talking about. Charles, please.
Daron, thank you very much. Hey guys, my name is Charles. I've been a pilot for the past 25 years on commercial aircraft, Flair jets, and so forth. The guys we're working here, very intelligent, very smart guys. We've got a good thing going here. We've really innovated the complexities that typically come with aircraft, simplifying the controls, less buttons, no rudders, highly automated. Everything's really coming together. And if you guys don't mind, I see there's a question from Jack Armstrong. It says, so Joby's already there with a working product. How do you plan to compete? Really, Joby is a commercial product. We're not going for the commercial side. This is going to be something that, you park in your backyard, your garage, things like that. Joby's working on commercial aircraft, not anywhere near an all-bar park. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to cover, and I really think that's about it, guys.
Maybe a little bit about the controls or the sticks, if you want to explain a little bit. But
sure.
Sure.
The controls are going to be very simplistic. We've got 2 side sticks, one on the left side, one on the right side. Buttons to control your communications, your autopilot, things like that will be there. Similar to a helicopter, you push forward to go forward, you pull back to go backwards. Left would turn the aircraft to the left, right would turn the aircraft to the right. No rudder pedals, that'll be controlled by automation. No complex switches, no throttles. Everything will be controlled by the aircraft upon your input.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Basically, our entire approach is working with the most reputable companies to integrate their components into the H1. The next stage for Droni is to finalize our go-to-market aircraft, the H1 that I mentioned before. We are seeking approaches for light sport aircraft certification with FAA, but we also have other options for certification that are currently available for us. Moving forward, our project launch in the second half of 2024. We're reviewing few different options for production, including partnering with Space Florida and aircraft manufacturers to build a production facility. Now, let us elaborate a little bit about partnerships. The Droni strategy is built on acquiring as many third-party partnerships as possible and integrating them. We want to keep the heart, soul, and core of Droni within our facilities and leverage the experience of our partners to bring manufacturing to scale. eVTOLs are a truly disruptive and transformative technology that will redefine commuting in much the same way that the iPhone changed the way we understand communication. Because of this, it is absolutely imperative that we partner with communities, and Droni is already in advanced discussions with airpark communities and communities leaders in South Florida and other states. Two of the biggest partnership we have disclosed are with Honeywell and Garmin to incorporate their systems in components into the H1. We are also in discussions with the Florida city and state officials and are about to sign with another big reputable strategic business partner. But that's the extent of what we're allowed to share at this moment. But trust me, once we sign, it will pave the way for venture capitalists to join us with ultimate goal for reaching a much higher company valuation. Valuation and fundraising. Speaking of our valuation, as we've disclosed, we've already received a $4 million investment offer at a much higher company valuation. In fact, almost on a weekly basis, Doroni is getting offers for investment as high as 40 million, yes, 40, with very high valuations. I can't stress enough how carefully we are exploring and weighing each of these offers. We're methodically seeking out the right strategic investor that will provide us with additional resources and capital that will speed our progress faster than even before. Thank you, everyone, for your time and attention. I'd like to open up the floor to answer any and all of your questions. As Yaakov suggested before, please feel free to type them directly into the chat. Our team and I are here to address and clarify almost everything that we can and possible to disclose. We are here for you guys. How is the, we have any questions I would like to start with? I can't hear.
Yes, Doron, I see some of the questions are in the chat. Some of them is under the Q&A. So I think we're gonna go between them.
Okay. Okay, Chadwick, Rix, this concept is great. I know we are early in the process, but we'll eventually would hope to have a product to accommodate more than 2 seats. Yes, definitely. Let me explain a little bit about our philosophy. Charles mentioned that. We saw most of the big players are going to the air taxi. Air taxi requires a lot of complications as far as the engineering and most of it as far as certification. Because it's not just to create a very durable and safe product and efficient, but it's also getting the communities to accept that. So there are multiple of things going on. Our belief is that at the end of the day, as most of form of transportation, we understand that people will commute with their own Doroni. There is basically almost no limitation, technological limitation today, why a person cannot go into a Doroni today or another eVTOL, personal eVTOL, and go vertical. So we see this as the future. Obviously, it takes time for the community to accept. So our approach was let's already, have our aim at getting this as a personal aircraft. So people can start to, there are always leaders in the market, and we would like to already reach out to them. And in fact, we get many offers or many requests to be on our orders list or pre-order list. So we have a growing pre-order list, and in a month or 2 months, we should have it on the website so people can start, register for pre-orders. But in fact, we understand that we're starting with a 2-seater. I think Tesla started with a Roadster 2-seater. Our goal is to start with a 2-seater, but eventually grow to 4 and 5 and maybe more. Once you prove technology, with a 2-seater, you just scale it up. So it shouldn't be a technological problem to do that for us. But we need to start somewhere, and this is how we started. Thank you for your question. Okay. Looking at the streamlined surface of the aircraft, it is not clear how batteries could be changed quickly and easily. Thanks. Maybe Roman, you would like to address this answer?
Yes, Alberto, thank you for this question. So what you see on our 3D model now, it's H1P1. It's some kind of compromise, and batteries are installed in the frame. They will be removable or swappable when you like take out some part of the skin of the body. If Doron can share the screen, I can even show you the place.
Yeah, let me do that for a second. Yes, go ahead.
On the back, you can see one battery is a little bit angled, like from other side. It's especially we try to show that when we will take out the skin of the wing, it will be big one part, which easily disposable. We will take out the batteries. The same process will be on the front frame, but and the second option, it's like we can work with batteries when we can disassemble front frame from the crew cabin and back frame from the crew cabin. So everything is modular, and there is a lot of rooms around and a lot of access, like ways to access to the wires, batteries, and other components. It's technically our main purpose, to make it easy.
I would like to add to that, as explained before, this is H1P1. It's not the final go-to-market product because we are learning from this as well once it's completed, and we will do the proper changes in our final go-to-market product.
Yeah, one of the purposes of this model, like in the end of developing and tests, it looks like we will drop test it. So it will be even disintegrated. So we will learn what we need to change in the final product to make it even safer before we will go to certification process.
Thank you, Roman. I'm Edward, and I have interest in your company and would like to know about the idea of transport before takeoff. Will the wheel turn to maneuver in and out of the garage space, or the aircraft is going to be drivable to get to the area where the craft can actually take off? Maybe Roman, maybe this you should address that as well.
Yes.
Edward. So
of course, Edward, thank you for your question. So yes, drone will be transportable from garage space to the takeoff and landing area. It will be done in two ways. First of all, you will drive it using the pusher props, and wheels will be easily turning. And you can turn a little bit using brakes on the back wheels, because each wheel will be with brakes. So when you push the brake on each side, you using the joystick, it will be turned a little bit. And the second option will be the small electric motor in one of the front wheels, which will work as a, as a motor in the car. But how far you can go from your garage to take off and land in space, it will be also a question for certification, which we will solve, and everything will be put in the manual of use. Thank you.
Thank you, Roman. Don't go away, because you have another question, or you or Charles, please. It's from Steve Widner. What would be the maximum wind velocity for safe flight with the H1?
I can answer it.
Please.
The maximum wind velocity for safe flight for H1 from technical side will be much more higher than 37 knots. But we have also certification limitation, like for LSA, which as like our target, and there is a 37 knots as a limitation for wind velocity for this category. That's it.
Thank you, Roman. Charles, would you like to add something to that?
No, Roman pretty much covered it. Like I said, there's a limitation based on the category aircraft we're going for. it's also going to be a personal limitation as you're comfortable with the aircraft also. So if the winds are just uncomfortable for the person that'll be driving it, then that would be their personal limitation also. And each person's going to have their own. But as far as safety is concerned, we're going to make sure that we can hit the limitation for the aircraft category that we're involved with.
Thank you, Charles. I would like to add something regarding safety. Because this is a new technology, and we understand we're going to be scrutinized, not us, all the eVTOLs. So our intention and our belief that we can make the drone H1 safer than maybe most, if not, most of the aircraft, if it's helicopter or regular airplane, because we have so many things going on there that a regular aircraft will not have. Like a helicopter, for example, have one motor and one propeller. We have 10, 8 goes vertical. So there's so many safety features, and like the parachute that you can see. I don't know if you saw it in the back here, but in the back. And our goal is basically to design so many redundancies as well that will make that thing very safe and for people to engage, and not just user friendly, but also very, very safe. Thank you. Let's see more questions. This is thank you, Daniel. This is my childhood dream come to reality. I love the design. It's very attractive design. Thank you. Thank you about it. A little bit think about design. Many years ago, I was asked, sometimes you need to compromise between design and functionality. I don't believe in that. I believe that a good design is also good function. So, when you see something like you saw it and like we see it, and thank you again, we understand that this is a viable product. This will do what we want it to do. So they go together, and this is also what the beauty that we get back. We understand that this is a good working product. And another question. Okay, thank you. It's from Alberto. I think it's Alberto. Thank you so much for your reply. Let me ask one more question. The 3 frames, front, cockpit, rear, could be electrically disassembled and assembled by means of quick connection and connectors. Roman.
Yes, Alberto. Okay, small additional. There will be screw and nuts connectors. Like we have some brackets, which is fit easily, and you just block it by nuts and screws. We choose this way because it's low risk connector, easy to calculate how it will work, easy to do it. So technically, exactly what we need for prototype.
Thank you, Roman. Another question from Sonny. Hypothetically, is there a fallback plan if one of the blades were to stop functioning in midair? Yes. We designed the drone. You see, let me go to share my screen again. So you can see that we have a duct with 2 motors. Our design, or basically one part of the redundancies, is that we have 8 motors and you can land on 4. So if up to 4, depends in which duct, it depends what level, but yes, 1 or 2 motors or 2 propellers or 3, up to 4, depends where we can still land. And this is another huge safety feature that is not available, from my knowledge, in any other aircraft. If somebody wants to add, Charles or Roman, please feel free to add.
Okay, just if everything will just shut down, let's imagine some situation, I don't know how it can happen, but it's life and something can be not predicted. We have a parachute, like a rocket parachute, which will save whole aircraft with passengers. So as a plan B, if everything else will be, just switch it off. That's all.
Thank you, Roman. Go ahead. Chuck.
Yeah, let me just add to that because it's kind of a little bit of my area. So the autopilot will manage these safety aspects, so that we will, as part of the design, we will manage, or we will add certain levels of redundancies. So one blade fails, technically the other blades will still be able to handle the aircraft stability. So you should be able to land it. And as Roman mentioned, worst case scenario, if one leg goes away, then a rocket parachute will deploy. But again, there will be more. So we need to test these ideas and actually prove that it works. That's it for me.
Thank you, Zar, Chief System Engineer. Question from Jack Armstrong. How do you foresee regulatory hurdles and neighborhood noise opposition affecting your timeline? Let me start by talking about noise first. There's a big question about noise. My simple answer is always try to compare a Tesla to any other car which is not electric. Noise levels are, you cannot compare because there's hardly any noise in electric motor. The second, obviously, is the maintenance, which is a big thing in combustion engines. This is all electric, so maintenance is, the cost is negligible. As far as regulatory hurdles, yes, we understand that there are regulatory hurdles, but there are already places where we expect, and we're already engaging, as we mentioned, airport communities. Airport communities in the US, I think just in Florida, there's over 70 communities like that, where you basically have your own airplane next to your home, and it's like an airport, and you fly from it. In the United States alone, there are close to 800 airport communities. So think about this, and this is just one of the niches. As far as, because the agility of the flexibility of the way it flies, and also we're not interested to fly at levels that will endanger aircraft. We are going probably a couple of hundreds of feet. And so this is will not endanger, as I said, aircraft, and will not create a problem for certification. We're also not going into major airports. And this is another hurdle when you want to certify an aircraft. One of the things is, are you going to a major airport? No, we have no need for that. And there are already few ways of certification that we cannot disclose at this point, because it's also something that we're working on. That can help us expedite our ability to go into the market. Besides that, there's a lot of markets outside of the US that they don't have such a complicated form of certifications. So for us, the whole world is our market, is our potential market. I hope I answered that as much as I could. Next question is Frank. How long it takes for a full charge? I saw it can fly 60 miles. How long it takes? So at this point, as of today, we're talking about 40, 45 minutes, 60 miles. But I can tell you that from our understanding, we're already in contact with battery companies, and technologies will be available. This is how we estimated. By the time we start delivering by 2024, the first Dorothy, we will have over an hour. And for people who fly, they understand that a 60-mile, or we will have probably over 100 mile, this is our target. 100-mile range, it's comparable to about 160-mile range with a car, because you basically drive, you fly straight or you drive straight. You don't have any stops on the way. You're not going, in routes. There are no pedestrian crossing and almost no obstacle. So, this will be way more efficient. The battery technology is progressing in huge leaps. There are solid state batteries. There are so many technologies already. Toyota announced, I think Hyundai as well, they have those batteries. The idea is what they're doing is compressing more energy per pound per kilo. And we see it already. the US announced by 2030 that at least 50% of the car is going to be electric. So we have a lot of forces, a lot of producers going into battery technology, and we expect to benefit from that as well. Somebody wants to add something, maybe Charles, Roman, Zar?
Yes, I can add about
how
long it takes for full charge. So
yeah.
Our plan is to get like from 20 to 80% of the battery in 15 minutes and full battery in half an hour. So we think like this time is totally fine. You know, it's really achievable by modern technology, and with future technology, it will be like possibly faster. So that's our like goal and our target.
Thank you, Roman. As far as technologies, although we are basically introducing a new disruptive way of commuting, the technologies are available and are constantly, at this day and age, are being progressed, developing faster and faster. Understand this is how exactly all electric cars are gonna, we're gonna benefit from that, and also eVTOLs like us are gonna benefit from that. And we definitely, we just signed another LOI with a battery company yesterday. So all that is working on such batteries that will able to bring this over an hour of flight, even more. At one point, we will jump in, partner with one of these companies when we start to produce the mass production for us. Any questions? I don't see any more questions. I think.
I need to answer to Alberto. Sorry for misunderstanding. I didn't add information for electrical connection. Yes, of course, it will be, a little bit not like one big bus for each wire, but all the wires in front, back, will be collected together. So it will be easy to like disassemble it and like, reconnect it again when we need it.
A little bit about the team, the guys that you see here. I can tell you, I'm very honored to work with such a team. I myself, was born, I still consider myself a geek and a child. Even my wife and my kids are laughing at me a lot of times. And I enjoy that. I think a person that stopped being a child is starting to die, basically. And my intention is to maintain this curiosity and childhood, and that drives me. The team here of the people are really, I can say, geniuses in each of their fields, multitasking, good in communication, good at understanding and iterate and move forward. Each one of them, I picked, and we had long relationship for quite a while, for like 5 years, even more than 5 years. And we went through hurdles and a lot of challenges, especially at the beginning when people thought that we were so crazy. and there weren't too many also parts available, like motors and batteries, and we really started from scratch. But these people, you know, they went through and they basically delivered each one of their parts. So I'm very proud of that. As far as where we are now, we understand that at this point of time, as I said, the valuation that we are is I won't say ridiculous, but it's very low compared to the potential. We engage now an evaluation company, and we understand we're in a different ballpark. If you see just the bigger companies, some of them just started a year ago, and the valuation is skyroof. It's incredible. From here, we ending around the end of I think 28th of April. And part of the reason is because we're getting more and more offers for Big Done. I think this is an opportunity of a lifetime, definitely for my team, myself, and for all the investors. We will be happy to answer any questions, and we'll be, you know, we are available as much as possible, because we're also answering questions, but we're also developing the most advanced vehicle in the world today. And we're taking this job very, very seriously. I personally, I'm working 24 hours. I'm trying not to think on the weekend or basically on Friday night, Sabbath, that I can get my head straight again, but we are working very hard, all of us around the clock. And so anything you guys want us to ask, any questions, even suggestions, we'll be happy to consider. I think another question, Edward, again, thank you for answering question. Last question. So the craft will bring itself down automatically before battery dying, correct? Yes. And do you have your own protocol? Zara, maybe you want to answer? It's your realm. Edward's question. Edward, thank you answering question. Last question. So the craft will bring itself down automatically before battery dying, correct? Yes, and maybe Zara will elaborate a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. Wait, let me just. Where's the question again, Alberto? There's gonna be protocols for this. Definitely, we got to make sure that you land safely, right? And we would allow alerts, so you make sure that the pilot or the user will have enough time to sort of realize that you don't have enough juice or enough energy to complete your journey or something like that. But yeah, it's definitely in our dashboard. It will be it will be there.
Automatic descent and audibles. I commend the CEO and the team. Thank you very much for outstanding design and project. Due to what the team has explained, it seems the H1 has 2 times its required safety factor. If I'm not mistaken, which is more than most structure we live in daily. My last question is, how high can it fly? It can fly. I mean, Roman, let me answer that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for this question. Like, as maximum, the Ronnie can go up to 4,000 feet. It's like the question in most of all in restriction of certification, because you know LSA have some limitation for maximum altitude for flight. But most of the flights, they will be like a few hundred meters up to 1,000 feet, something like this. Because is it like the Ronnie, it's a transportation for point to point. It's not for like long, like 100 miles trip for hours. It's something which you can use as a car. So like jumping from one point to another point, just saving your time and your efforts, just in comfort. You know, some kind of like pre-teleport technology, you know, like
pre-teleport technology,
pre-teleport technology, yeah. In future,
like in Star Trek.
Yeah. Of course, like in the future, we will have even more advanced technology, but based on modern technology, we can create Doroni, and it's already a big step forward.
Yeah. Thank you, Roman. Another question. Are majority of your components made in the US? Yes, most of the parts are made in the US. I can't say everything, but most of them are made in the US. Yes, thank you for the question. Is it possible to have, Alberto, is it possible to have a brochure via email reporting all main technical characteristics of Drone H1? We will definitely think about that. It's a good question. Let us think about that. With all correct, yes, we will have. We basically, I think we have the main characteristics already on Start Engine, but it will appear also on more and more on our website because we're updating our website, and we can send something as well. Jakob, do you see the question by Alberto? I think the answer is yes.
Yeah. You have another question there?
Yeah.
Are you going to have ESA certification in the next
future?
Yeah. Zara, I think he's typing an answer.
Yeah, I was in the middle of answering that question actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
so let me
ahead.
just answer it live. Sorry, thanks. Yep. We are currently engaged with the FAA, and we're closely, back and forthing with them, and we're following the industry closely and see what the development is in there. And we found some awesome news about FAA and EASA having to join this certification process. So perhaps it might not just be an EASA certification anymore in the future. So it could be like a joint thing. So which is a good thing. See, so it won't be a separate FAA certification. It will be a EASA. It will be a joint. So but definitely from the impression that we're getting, EASA is a little bit more ahead of FAA. So that's why perhaps the industry, or at least the FAA, is trying to join, get a joint. What's the word for it?
Yeah.
They're trying to join together to come up with a sort of path, because they definitely are aware, or at least they appreciate this innovation happening in the industry. So yeah.
Thank you, Zar. Another question from Jack. What about environmental impacts, studies, and bird migration patterns? Just trying to see what has been considered. If any of the team, maybe Charles or Roman, would like to help with this.
I can answer from technical side, from the design side, because migration pattern or birds migration patterns, it's like we didn't make some researching about it, because it's like it wasn't included in certification process, because our main goal is technical test and certification process. But from the technical side, from the design, we don't have open props. Like we have a pushers, but it's from the front side, it's covered by body. So even if we will have bird strike, like it won't damage device. And even if it's damaged device, we have a safety protocol. And looks like with bird, everything, like it's a big possibility that with birds, everything will be also okay, because it's like very streamlined and flat design. And also the drone is not flying super fast. So the total energy of impact won't be so high. And it's a big possibility that with bird, everything will be okay.
Charles,
see another question.
Okay.
Do you want to see another question from Steve?
Oh. Okay. Thank you, Steve. Do you see the FAA keeping up with the eVTOL development and be ready with the regulation when you're ready to commercialize the eVTOL? I believe so. I can't speak for them, but there are so many things going on, and again, FAA is not working by itself. Is working with YASA, and as Zara mentioned, YASA is a little bit more, advanced, and they're learning their back and forth from each other. And yes, the thing is, again, the technology is so readily available, and just watch what's going on now with the gas prices. The gas prices, because of what's going on now in the world, is soared. And it just makes the case for electric vehicle. But then again, electric vehicles are for us, the way I see it, and forgive me, big companies like Tesla, are intermediary technology, because we are still moving on a two-dimensional plane. And there's a whole world above us. It doesn't mean that we need to fly at 10,000 feet. It doesn't mean that the sky is going to be heavily, filled with crowded. It means that there is another world there that we're not using, and just doesn't make sense to go and excavate and go underground. The only way, because the cities are condensed, and not even a autonomous vehicle can solve such an issue. All of them are. We have to go 3-dimensional. I mean, we knew that coming. Everybody knew it was coming for years. And the thing is, the technology of today, as of this moment, you can already do it. So it's not a matter of if they will do it or not. It will happen anyway, because the technology is there and people are going to be using it. Somebody wants to add something to my answer? Josh, I saw you nodding your head like this, so I was like, okay, you want to add something?
Is it to the Steve Wadner's question?
Yeah.
Yeah. From what we understood, definitely FAA had a recent reorg or transformation within the organization to handle this type of innovation. So that could hopefully speed things up. I mean, FAA, they could be a little bit slow sometimes, but there's a lot of this type of innovation, a lot of players demanding their attention. So definitely they kind of need to keep up. Hence why that's probably what drive them to, talk to YAS and be like, we kind of need to keep up with you guys. See, that's probably what the reason why they merged, or at least tried to see how they can work together with YASA to keep up with the innovation that's happening in the industry.
I would like also to thank you, Zar. I'd like to add that I think about 2 months ago, the House of Representatives issued 2 new House bills supporting advanced air mobility. So there's an overall interest in the government, the federal government of the US by itself, and there's the whole world, there's Europe and other places as well, that support advanced air mobility, eVTOLs, what we're doing in the infrastructure, and also in, as far as design development. The technology is just no brainer. If you have an aircraft that's flying above you, you hear that noise, and when you have an eVTOL or drone, at least, there's no pollution compared to no noise and no pollution compared to what an aircraft is making. So why wouldn't you use it if we can make this the case that it's more efficient, it's safer, and readily available. So everything is there, just to put it together. This is how we see it. I hope we answered everything. I don't see any more questions. Maybe Yaakov would like to thank you guys. Oh, will you be sharing a replay of this webinar? Jeremy, yes, will you be sharing a replay of this webinar? Maybe Yaakov will answer, and we'll take us to closing from here to Jeremy Hall answer a question. So, thank you very much, guys.
Yes, we're definitely going to share the recording of the webinar through our newsletter and also to the campaign updates. So you're definitely going to see it in the next few days. Thank you very much for all of you. It's very important for us. We feel honored that you participate in this webinar. If you have any more questions, you can ask on the campaign page, also in the info@duroni.io. I think for now we're going to say goodbye and good luck for us and good luck for all of us. And we'll see you next webinar.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.